and welcome back to Map the Maze Summer Book Club. We continue. Today is a little bit different. So to date, I've been sharing with you books that you can read, which I think are really helpful, relevant, thoughtful, sometimes even entertaining. Today is a little bit different. Today I wanted to share with you a workbook. So let me show you what I'm talking about. This is Rebuilding When Your Relationship Ends by Bruce Fisher. It's the companion workbook to the book. So it's the workbook for the book. He actually was running a course for separated individuals and also actually widowers. So people dealing with loss, people dealing with the breakdown of a relationship or the loss of a relationship. And one of the reasons why I wanted to share with you the workbook is that quite often people who have written some of these books, which I think are really helpful, have created companion guides, which you can use to guide your own reflection, to really deepen the lessons, the insights that they share in their work. I think this is one of those. And one of the reasons why I particularly like this and that I think it's helpful is that often when I'm working with clients, they know either on a logical or on an emotional level that they are going to have to rebuild their lives, to reboot, to reset, to even redesign what they want life to look like. And whilst that can be terrifying and isolating and anxiety producing, it can also be empowering, exciting, positive. And I think this is one of the really helpful ways that people can do this. If you aren't working with a counsellor or you don't think that would be helpful, but you do want some help as to what does that path look like, I think this book is really helpful, the workbook in particular, because what it does is it outlines the paths, the steps, and it's methodical, and it may not be the perfect path, but I think one of the things that can happen when people are separating is there's just this overwhelming sense of chaos and uncertainty. And whilst maybe for you, it would be better to have step 7 before you do step 5, this is a good pathway to getting to the final stages that he talks about, which are around healing, which are around using the lessons that you've learned from the breakdown of the relationship or the loss of the relationship to make sure that your next relationship is positive, that you don't go back into the same patterns, that you don't repeat the mistakes that happened the first time round, and that you build a relationship that actually meets your needs and that can sustain you and your new partner. And so I think that's incredibly helpful, that it contains reflection exercises, pieces to read, things to think about, but it's very non-judgmental, it's supportive, and it's really positive, because I think one of the things that when you read the book, you get a little bit more insight into his experiences of teaching this course and working with people, separated people, who are coming to terms with a separation and moving on. And he has really, I think, created a roadmap that if you maybe can't afford counseling, or you don't want to try counseling, or you don't want to go to a support group, this would be a way to do that work by yourself in a way that I think is really valuable. So my recommendation is, if you are separating and you are feeling like, I know I need to move on, I know I need to work on healing, I'm a bit lost as to how to do that or what steps to take, and maybe I don't want to work with a counselor because maybe I've had a bad experience, or I don't like counseling, or maybe I can't afford counseling, which is also a common concern. I think this workbook would be a way to do that by yourself, to actually ask the questions, to consider, and to also help, I think, to put some form around what your experiences have been, and to turn them into a positive, to say, these are boundaries I don't want to cross in my next relationship. These are the values that I think I embody and that I want in the partner that I'm going to spend time with and invest in, and that this is what I want my relationship to look like. So from that perspective, I think this is incredibly helpful. So that would be, it's also a workbook, so you get to fill stuff in, but that would be this week's Summer Book Club pick. So have a look, check it out. I'll put the link below, and I will see you next week.